On October 21st, 2005, I was upstairs at Val's house giving Tyler a bath. The news of the results of a needle biopsy were due at 6 o'clock in the evening. And as I gave Tyler that bath, I waited. And I wanted to hear footsteps running up the stairs to tell me that everything was okay. But they never came. I'm going to read this part because it's kind of... God quickly brought together a team better than any corporation in the world. Shar was a great organizer, Chris the CEO, Nancy the caregiver, and not unlike the Holy Spirit, the comforter. Julie, a general who would charge down from San Luis Obispo at any moment. Me, the scribe who kept the blog up to date. Family and friends who provided meals, some of you, many of you. Babysitting, anything needed. You, the faithful offerers of prayer, and Val, the warrior. And I'm sure you've all read the details of Val's journey in the blog. On March 21st, just recently, I think I have the date right, but bear with me, Nancy, Val, Tyler, and I went to USC Norris for a late afternoon CT scan. It was a tough day. And on the way home, as the sun was setting over the ocean as we were coming south on 5, Val and I were talking softly in the front seat, and she sensed that this might be her last trip to USC. And then she said to me, "You know, I wonder why the sounds of this world seem to be getting quieter." And that just meant a lot to, I just thought about that a lot. And Chris and I and Nancy and a lot of us were aware of the emergency trip to Scripps and to Cedars. Val's stents were changed. 2 days she languished at Cedars Sinai in the Saperstein Critical Care Tower. We all know it well. She wanted to go home so bad that she asked her nurse, Carly, "Hey, Carly, how did you get to work today?" Carly said, "I drove." She said, "Give me your keys, I'm leaving." We made the tough decision to bring Val home. Chris and I said, "You know what? I think Val would rather die in the car on the way home or at home than in a hospital in Beverly Hills." Last week, sitting next to Val, I looked at the birthmark on her shoulder and was reminded of an incident 20 years ago when I thought I had lost her. But now I know I will never lose her. Jeff was talking about whispering something in her ear. Over and over, I whispered in her ear last week that I have always been with her. I will always be with her. Val was really aware of other people. Julie told me this story. I should have you come up and tell it. She told me about a recent incident at USC. Val was in the process of receiving chemotherapy in the day hospital. The nurse told her that she had lost a teenage child recently. Val asked if she could pray with her. Afterwards, riding in an elevator, she complimented the lady next to her on her pretty coat. I have been so blessed having Val in my life for 38 years. She was a gift from God. She was a light in the darkness. I count it a high privilege to have gone on this journey with her. God's stamp of approval was on every day, every needle, every mile, every scan, every prayer offered by you. Val received her high school diploma in this sanctuary. It would stand her high school Bible in this sanctuary. She got her diploma from the school. She was married here. Val was married here. We remember her here today. This is a holy place where truth prevails. Today is a tribute to Val, a celebration of her life. If she were here to speak, this is what she would say. I am home, and yet my legacy continues in my husband and sons. See to it that they are taught the fear of the Lord at an early age. I have left them an example to follow. As I was, let them be faithful witnesses of the truth that Jesus Christ is alive and is worthy of all glory and honor. Teach them respect for man and God. I am forever grateful to Chris for his steadfast love and support of my daughter. I couldn't ask or imagine for a better helpmate. He was always there. Val was my hero.